If you're over 60 and you still masturbate, I want to ask you a direct question. Have you ever honestly stopped to think, is this still good for me at my age? Or could it be affecting my health in ways I haven't noticed? You're not alone. A surprising number of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s still enjoy self-pleasure. It's normal. But what isn't normal is how little this gets talked about, especially among older men. This topic is surrounded by silence, shame, or just straight-up misinformation. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Matt, and today I want to speak to you not as a lecture, but as someone who respects your time, your experience, and your right to know what's really happening inside your body. Because this matters more than most people realize. But before we dive into the science, let me ask you this. Where in the world are you watching from right now? Type your city or country in the comments. I love seeing the global reach of this community, whether you're in Chicago, Sydney, or Birmingham. And hey, if you're here for truth, not taboos, tap the like button right now. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and turn on notifications. This is where we talk about real health, especially for older men who want to stay sharp and strong. Let's begin by breaking down the benefits of masturbation after 60. Some may surprise you. Some may even change your perspective. 1. It keeps your sexual system working, literally. This isn't just about pleasure. This is about maintenance. When you get an erection, blood rushes into sponge-like chambers inside the penis called the corpora cavernosa. That blood carries oxygen and nutrients that keep the tissue elastic and functional. If those tissues go unused for too long, they can atrophy. That's not theory, that's biology. Regular erections help maintain erectile strength, much like regular stretching keeps muscles flexible. 2. It may help protect your prostate. Yes, seriously. Studies, including one from Harvard School of Public Health, suggest that frequent ejaculation, 21 times a month or more, might reduce the risk of developing prostate cancer. The theory is simple. Regular release clears out built-up fluids, toxins, and inflammatory agents from the prostate. It's like flushing the engine to prevent long-term damage. 3. It strengthens your pelvic floor. During orgasm, your pelvic muscles, especially the PC muscle, contract. That muscle is essential for urinary control, erection quality, and ejaculation. When it weakens, problems follow. Leakage, weaker orgasms, even erectile dysfunction. Masturbation helps keep that muscle engaged. Kind of like doing Kegels without realizing it. 4. It reduces stress at the hormonal level. Masturbation isn't just mental release. It physically reduces cortisol, your main stress hormone, and boosts dopamine and oxytocin, which promote relaxation and emotional balance. In older men, managing cortisol becomes critical. Chronic stress leads to belly fat, low testosterone, poor sleep, and heart issues. This is a simple, natural way to push back. 5. It helps you track your health. Every time you engage in self-pleasure, you're essentially checking in with your body. Are there changes in sensation, lumps, pain, curvature? Many men discover issues like Peyronie's disease, testicular masses, or reduced nerve response simply because they were paying attention. This kind of awareness is underrated and could literally save your life. 6. It can improve your sleep. That post-orgasm crash isn't just in your head. After ejaculation, your body naturally boosts prolactin and oxytocin while lowering cortisol. The result, you feel calm, drowsy, and ready to rest. For older adults struggling with sleep quality, this is a natural aid. And yes, sleep clinics are starting to recognize this too. 7. It boosts blood circulation below the belt. Not just in the penis, but in the entire pelvic area, the prostate, bladder, surrounding tissues and nerves. Healthy blood flow is critical. Without it, you're more likely to face erectile dysfunction, urinary issues, or pelvic pain syndromes. Masturbation helps keep those channels open and functioning. 8. It gives you more control during intimacy. If you've ever dealt with premature ejaculation, solo practice gives you space to train without pressure. Techniques like the start-stop method or squeeze method are easier to practice alone. The more you learn your own arousal pattern, the more confident and in control you'll be when it matters most. 9. It helps combat loneliness. This one's rarely talked about, but it's real. Older adults, especially after divorce or widowhood, often go through long stretches without intimacy. Masturbation can activate feel-good chemicals like serotonin and oxytocin, promoting emotional balance and reducing loneliness. It's not a full replacement for connection, but it's healthier than isolation. 10. It keeps the brain sexually active. Your brain is your biggest sex organ. When you engage in sexual stimulation, you activate circuits tied to pleasure, memory, and identity. And some early research suggests that maintaining a healthy sex life, even solo, can support cognitive health as you age. In other words, sexual activity isn't just about your body. It may be keeping your mind sharper too. Now, I want you to take a breath because yes, everything I just shared is true. These benefits are backed by evidence and experience. But here's the honest truth. These benefits only matter if you're doing it in a way that serves your health, not undermines it. There are patterns that many older men fall into, and they don't even realize those patterns may be hurting their testosterone, sleep, emotional well-being, or even their relationships. So, before you write this off as harmless, ask yourself, where are you tuning in from right now? Drop your country in the comments. I want to see the reach of this community. Tap like if you want this kind of honest, respectful content to keep showing up. Subscribe if you haven't because these are the conversations most men never get to have. If you've made it here, you already know this topic is bigger than just pleasure because anything that impacts your hormones, nervous system, and emotional rhythms as deeply as masturbation does deserve serious conscious attention. Not because it's bad, but because when a habit becomes automatic, that's where the danger usually hides. So today, let's pull back the curtain on 10 risks. Things that don't often get talked about, but quietly affect thousands of men over 60. 1. Social withdrawal. This one's more common than most realize. I've worked with many older men who slowly began replacing human connection with self-pleasure. At first, it's just convenience. Later, it becomes isolation. Masturbation fills a space, but not the one that matters most, emotional intimacy. And whether you're single, divorced, or even in a relationship, this slow drift away from connection can leave you feeling more alone than ever. So ask yourself, is this making me feel more connected or less? Because sexual activity without emotional warmth can leave a quiet emptiness behind. 2. Skin micro tears and irritation. As we age, our skin naturally gets thinner, especially down there. Add certain meds, diabetes, or poor hydration, and that skin becomes even more fragile. Rough handling, dry friction, or skipping lube that leads to micro tears. Small cuts that may seem minor, but over time cause inflammation, pain, and even infections. So here's the fix. Use a good water-based lubricant. Be mindful. Think maintenance, not punishment. Your skin deserves that care. 3. Desensitization and orgasm conditioning. Most men use the same routine every time. Same grip, same speed, same visuals. But the brain is adaptive. It wires itself to expect only that specific stimulus. That's how men end up struggling during partnered sex because their brain and body are no longer tuned to real-life intimacy. My advice, mix it up. Change your rhythm. Switch hands. Use your imagination more than a scream. Keep those neuropathies flexible. 4. Ignoring early erectile dysfunction. Here's one that flies under the radar. You might be able to get and keep an erection when you're alone, but have trouble with a partner. You chalk it up to nerves, but often it's not psychological, it's vascular, it's hormonal, it's your body whispering something's off. Solo arousal removes pressure, but partnered sex reveals the deeper truth. If that rings a bell for you, talk to your doctor. Early erectile dysfunction is often the first red flag for heart disease, testosterone drop, or insulin resistance. Don't ignore it. 5. Pudendal nerve compression. This one's physical but sneaky. Masturbating hunched over, sitting on hard chairs, or leaning into your desk that compresses the pudendal nerve, which controls sensation in your genitals. Do that enough and you may start feeling numbness, tingling, or even pelvic pain. Here's the fix. Change position. Lie back. Support your hips. Let your pelvis breathe. Your nerves will thank you. 6. Emotional avoidance. We don't always masturbate out of desire. Sometimes it's boredom. Sometimes it's sadness. Other times it's just a way to avoid whatever we're really feeling. Look, release is healthy. But when climax becomes the only tool in the toolbox, that's when growth stalls. You need space to feel, express, and reflect. So ask yourself, am I seeking connection or just escaping discomfort? 7. Shame or moral conflict. Let's not pretend this isn't real. Many of you were raised in environments where self-pleasure was seen as dirty, shameful, or weak. Even if your views have changed, the subconscious wiring can still be active. That lingering guilt doesn't just affect your confidence. It raises cortisol, kills testosterone, and damages your relationship with your own body. If this applies to you, consider seeing a sex-positive therapist. Not to fix you, but to help you reclaim a healthy human part of yourself. 8. Pelvic congestion. Here's a clinical term you probably haven't heard: pelvic congestion. When you ejaculate too frequently, especially multiple times a day, it creates repeated blood engorgement. The body doesn't get enough time to fully recover, and it results in pressure, heaviness, and testicular aching. It feels like tight underwear all the time. The answer isn't to stop cold turkey. It's to find your rhythm. Learn to listen to your body instead of pushing through just because it's habit. 9. Reduce sperm quality. If you're still trying to have children, yes, it's possible at your age, listen up. Daily ejaculation reduces sperm count and motility, especially if your body's already slowed down production with age. The sweet spot. Most studies say 2 to 5 days of abstinence before sex improves sperm quality the most. No guilt here, just information. Use it however it serves your goals. 10. Porn-induced intimacy detachment. This is one of the biggest challenges I see, especially with the internet at your fingertips. When masturbation is always paired with porn, especially high-speed, extreme content porn, your brain adapts. It gets conditioned to respond to dopamine surges, not real touch. That leads to detachment. Numbness. Suddenly, a loving partner isn't enough. Not because they aren't, but because your brain's rewired to expect fantasy-level intensity. Break the pattern. Close the tabs. Reconnect with your senses. What you feel, hear, smell. Remember, let arousal come from life again, not just pixels. So, here's the bottom line. Masturbation at your age isn't a problem. Unconscious masturbation is done mindfully. It supports your hormones, your brain, and your vitality. Done mindlessly, it erodes those same things slowly, quietly. Use this knowledge to guide your choices. Don't shame yourself. Don't overthink. Just be aware. Treat your body like the wise seasoned machine it is. I'd love to hear from you what stood out most in today's video. Share in the comments your questions, your thoughts, your story. Click like if this gave you clarity. Tap subscribe to keep learning about the parts of men's health that get too little light. And send this video to a friend who could use the honesty. I'm Dr. Matt, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay sharp, stay steady, and stay true to yourself.